What's going on YouTube? PokeMatrix 54 back with another one. In today's video, I've got some exciting news to share. We have reprints upon us on the horizon. Finally, right? I mean, are y'all happy about this? Or sad? Or indifferent? Should I buy? Should I sell? What should I do next? Don't worry, I've got you covered. We're going to get to all those questions and answer all of them in this episode. Let me flip y'all around. Let's show you what I'm talking about. Now, I wish I could say there were more reprints, but from everything that we've been hearing and my sources, we have I feel like it seems like there's going to be a hefty amount of booster box reprints. Finally, finally, everyone, we all thought they're not printing booster boxes anymore. They can't keep up with demand. They're trying to print these smaller products that have less packs per item, per SKU number. Whatever it is, I don't care. We're finally getting them. And for investors, the savvy ones, and if you're watching my channel, I hope you're becoming, if not already, a savvy investor. And that means it's not time to panic when things dip. It's time to maybe go all in, or at least dollar cost average in, whether you bought at 600, whether you bought at 200 when it was first released. This item right here, the Destined Rivals booster box, is what we're talking about first. Do not be scared, guys. Do not be scared just because you may have bought at above $450. As you can see, the market price now it's $470. Let's say you were one of the ones that bought at $450 or $500 or even up to $600. These got all the way up to $650 at one point a few months ago, and I believe they're going to continue crashing. What we're hearing from most distributors is that they're getting them. No, they're not going to be at the $100 minimum range when booster boxes first come out. What I'm hearing from most big distributors, they're offering these boxes, these reprint booster boxes, at the $300 to $400 price range. So what does that mean for the end user? Stores and storefronts and online LGSs are going to get this product. Let's say they get it at 300. Well, I don't know. They're going to list it for something. It's going to be higher, obviously. Is it going to be 350? Is it going to be 400? Are the stores for 400 going to list them for 350? We're kind of going to let all that play out. But we're finally in a position where there's competition. These stores, and I'm glad Pokemon did this. Maybe they did this on purpose. Is several items we're hearing about reprints. And they're coming this month, August 2026. August to September is what we're hearing from a few items. But guess what else is coming out? Probably Wave 2 of Pitch Black here pretty soon. We just got Wave 2 of Chaos. We got Wave 2 of Perfect Order. And guess what else is coming out next month? The 30th anniversary. So with a whole slew of 30th SKU numbers coming out of items, there's going to be a large plethora of things out there to buy. So people are not going to be able to buy everything unless you got super deep pockets. And guess what else is on the other side of that coin? Storefronts will not be able to hold all of this inventory for all these items. So you're probably going to get this thing where there's a race to the bottom. This is how it used to be, right? If you were here a few years ago, you would just kind of wait and let sellers try to outbid each other, outdo each other for the lowest price, and you swoop in and buy them at that lowest price. Whether that's power sellers on eBay, um, online storefronts like Forge and Fire and Safari Zone and Card Coliseum, some of the bigger shops online that also have storefronts, some of them. And so maybe we're going to get back to that, at least for a small window. And I think Scarlet and Violet as a whole, the best in class main series set is absolutely Destined Rivals, in my opinion. You know, that's kind of up for debate. Maybe some people don't think that, but it's kind of, as far as the chase cards, the SIRs, I fully believe there's not really a clear second. There's not like a 1A or 1B. It is clearly the number one set in my opinion. So if you don't have any booster boxes, I get it. It sucks that they're still probably going to be, even after the reprint or after these prices, these higher prices, you're not going to be able to find them for probably $200. They're probably going to be 3 to 400, maybe a little bit more than 400. I've got a couple myself. I bought at $350, and I thought that was kind of high at the time, but I'm like, you know what? I want at least one. I don't have any. I missed out on the beginning release, and it started going up and up and up. And it, literally, like right when I bought them, that same week, it shot up to nearly 400, and then it kept on going from there, and 500 and on up. And I'm okay. Look, if they drop to 300, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go, cry, take my ball and go home and be sad. That just means there's an opportunity to dollar cost average and buy more. So you take your one at 350 if you did that, and let's say they do drop to 300. Then I buy a second one at 300. You divide that by two, dollar cost average, then you're in it at an average of 325 per box with the two. That's the way I'm looking at it. If you're not, you need to be looking at it that way. This isn't time to panic sell, guys. We've got to have iron hands if you want to be a good investor, if you want to see those gains long term. If you're buying these boxes, I honestly, unless there's some crazy run up, I would really never recommending selling them until at least they go out of print. At least. I mean, that's at least 2 years. In some cases, the Pokemon has shown us that they're willing to reprint beyond the 2 year window. Look at Celebrations. Look at 151. Some sets like that. So you never know quite what they want to do as Pokemon Company International. But if you're going to hold at least, I would say at least 3 to 4 years, which puts you beyond that 2 year print window, you're probably, and depending on what the asset does, right? What this particular item's trading at the time. But look, it's with all the news, it's already dropped from 650 down to 470. That is considerable. And I believe it's just going to keep doing that as people list, as these LGSs get their allocations, because a lot of them won't be able to keep and hold. They're going to need to pay those invoices to keep churning and to keep money flowing, because guess what? They probably want to buy as much of the 30th as they possibly can. They probably want to have good capital for the next set, Delta Rain, and the 30th is going to go into several months beyond September, right? So they're going to want to have good allocations to buy all those bundles and the ETBs and the premium boxes and the EX boxes and the UPCs. So that being said, I hope it's a recipe for us buyers to where we can get them. I'm hoping maybe somewhere where I picked up the one that I have about a year ago, or 8 months ago, at around 350. I'm hoping they drop below 400. To me, that's the trigger time of, if you have the capital, you're probably going to want to go ahead and buy one. Because to me, look, you can sit there and kind of play that game of when is the absolute bottom, but are you really, if you buy at 400 and it drops to 350, yeah, I'm gonna be a little upset. But in 3 years, when it's $700-800 a box, am I really gonna care? No, you're not. That's the way we've got to look at it. So I would say now's not the time to buy, but I think we're getting close. Probably by the end of this month, August, I hope this 470 average price number, I'm hoping that will go down to around 400. If it does, I think it's time to deploy your capital at that point, especially if you see that this number here start with a 3, meaning it dropped below 400 and it gets into the 300s. I think that's an absolute time to buy. Put this on your radar. Remember, guys, Scarlet and Violet, this is the best in class. I don't know if they're going to do another reprint. There seemed to be a fairly large one right now, and it's finally booster boxes. So hopefully this calms the market down a little bit. And with the frenzy of the 30th going about, and this, and Journey Together, what we're about to look at, and then this other reprints of the ETBs, hopefully it kind of floods and saturates the market enough to where prices do drop, because there's too many invoices that have to be paid. There's a race to the bottom with stores, and frankly, maybe there's not enough capital from everyone as a whole buying, where they just can't buy everything. I know I can't. I'm going to be very strategic, but And this one's the next one, also Destined Rivals, but a really, really nice, presentable ETB. And normally, I'm not really a huge fan of ETBs. I do own a few, but I think this box art in particular is going to be good long term. Because face it, some of the appearance, it's minor, but it does matter, okay? It does matter. And we're looking at it, this thing has tanked from 275 down to 130. I didn't get to go to GameStop and pre-order one for $100. I wanted to. They're probably sold out now, honestly. But I'm like, you know what? At this point, if I'm off on a weekend or a Friday or a drop day and I take off or something, I'm just going to try to get there early, whether it's Target, Walmart, Best Buy, whatever it is, and hope and pray that maybe that store has some reprints and I finally get a hold of one maybe at the $50 to $60 range, which will be the normal price. So I don't know if that'll happen. Walmart seems to be the worst, but maybe at a Best Buy or a Target or one of your local stores, LGSs, if they do sell at MSRP. I'm just kind of hoping for MSRP because I know booster boxes are not going to be. So if I'm going to overpay, I'd rather have a booster box. I think that's the premier item. And aside from that, honestly, I'd rather have bundles just because they take up so much less space. But you can bet your dollar that I am going to try and hope if I see any from waiting in line and these are available, absolutely at the $50 to $60 range, I'm going to grab whatever the limit is because you can't beat that, right? It's close to MSRP and this will do well long term. Again, it's the best in class booster box, PC ETB, bundles. I prefer booster boxes. I prefer the bundles because of space. PC ETBs if you can get them, but those are too insanely out of control right now. They've already seen a huge growth stage already happen. I don't even. It's above like $500. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe the PC ETB of this is like above $500. It's insane. It's already seen the majority of its growth. It's probably going to be stagnant for the next year or so. So I wouldn't go for that. But if you can get these, like especially if these drop below 100, like $90, $80 range, to me that is a no-brainer. Scoop them up and pick them up as much as you can. If you got deep pockets, try to go for a booster box case. Because again, I'm hearing very, very large, and these have already been dropping because they've already been showing up at Walmarts, and a little bit of some online drops. I personally wait in line every chance I get, and I have never seen these. Talking to some friends who also wait, I've had a couple find them at Walmart. Got lucky, and they were there right when the vendor was stocking it. But I personally have never seen these out in the wild, not since release, which was about a year ago. So something to look at. I wouldn't even buy one at this point. I would say I would be a part of that shout out to Nostalgianomics, that I'm gonna wait crowd. And to me, I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting for this to get to around 100 because if GameStop pre-ordered theirs for 100, seen some other sites like Hobbiesville and stuff already put them on pre-order for around this price range, 120, 130. To me, I'm gonna wait for a regular ETB. I just would rather have it at the $100 price point. That makes more sense to me. Or try to wait in line and hopefully a Best Buy or a Target gets one. But absolutely, I prefer the booster box over the ETB. I get it. It's like 3 or 4 times as much. But long term, I think that will be a better option. That's just my opinion. And last but not least, which I am pleasantly surprised because I don't think a lot of people like this set. And I don't know why, because really, you look at like SV Base, first of the new era, first for the silver gray borders. This was also a first modern set to have a box topper. Now, what we're hearing is that it's not the enhanced box topper booster boxes getting reprinted. We are hearing it is the non-enhanced versions. I really don't care. I only have one booster box that I own of Journey Together. It's an enhanced one. I am hoping if I get some more money saved up, I'll try to get another one. But if these go on sale, and this is already not a super awesome, well-received set, and this is the non-enhanced version right here that we're looking at, like it's more expensive now, I guess because of the exclusivity of it, quote unquote. because they did print a lot more enhanced boxes, and this one's more expensive. We'll look at right here the enhanced booster box. It's sitting at around 260 market, and if we go back to the non-enhanced, which again doesn't have that box topper, so you would think it'd be less valuable, right? The ENS Reshiram. But because they printed less of these, I wanted to buy one. I just never did. I didn't have the money at the time. But if I don't care what gets reprinted, enhanced, unenhanced, whichever one it is, I'm hoping that because this set really hasn't been so well received from the get-go, it had some popularity right at first, but it quickly faded. And look, even a year ago, I mean, 260 is kind of high, honestly, but I want to say when they were first released, this box was below 200, a little more than a year ago. Quote, check me on that if I'm wrong in the comments. And at $300, like, look, if I'm hoping with all the other stuff, there's going to be focus and attention on Destin, rightfully so. 30th, rightfully so. Maybe Chaos, maybe Perfect, and maybe some of this Wave 2 Pitch Black, because those are so cheap. And I would not sleep on those. If you can find them at MSRP and you have the capital, buy them. They're probably not going to get any cheaper than that, than MSRP, that 155 to 162 range, which I know MSRP is 162. Could they dip slightly below that? Maybe. I don't see them getting below 150, but to me, I just bought one last week because it went on sale from a small-time seller. Shout out to Pokemon Fam Club. And I was able to get one on his site. I probably shouldn't even be telling you that, because now if you see that, that's going to be more people fighting for his small amount of inventory. But shout out to him. I was able to get one at MSRP because he is really good about that, believes in MSRP, so I appreciate that very much. And I was able to get, I don't, it was Chaos Rising, I believe. So really cool. 160. He doesn't charge tax. So that was it, plus shipping. So you can't really get any cheaper than that, in my opinion. So, and he ships very well. He's trusted, reputable. So, but back to this. Let's close it out, right? Shall we? Journey Together, unenhanced boxes. No, they're not going to perform as well as Destin Rivals. They're not looked at as that top tier, best in class set like Destin is. But are they still solid? To me, Journey Together kind of gets a bad rap. I don't know why people don't like it. It's got some solid cards, and it was the first, like I said earlier, it was the first to introduce what? The partner Pokemon back again. So they kind of reintroduced this gimmick. I thought it was pretty cool. First set that, like I said, that has the box topper. Whether this is the box topper version or not that gets reprinted, watch out for this, but be careful, because knowing that the market doesn't love this set, I would wait for it to drop. And I'm hoping and praying that it drops close to MSRP, like what Perfect Order and those other ones are right now. And at 300, it's taken some time. It's dipped. It was in the low twos in December, and it's steadily, slowly climbed back up close to 300. And in the enhanced case, close to 260. So take that for what you will, but I believe if you own any of these and you're scared, don't be. You just got to have an iron stomach and say, you know what, I believe in it long term. I'm just going to buy more, dollar cost average down or up, and in 2, 3, 4, 5 years when I'm ready to sell or do whatever with it, it's going to be double, triple what you paid for it in all likelihood. But I'm willing to hold as long as it takes until I see those gains. And if I want to move off some of my position, then I will. If not, then I'm going to keep it. So no big deal. So what could be the play if the unenhanced versions are, which are right now more, what if these get massively reprinted? I'm hearing fairly solid reprint numbers. Whatever that means, I don't know. But if the unenhanced versions, let's say they do get a fairly large reprint like we're hearing, they drop down to like 200, 180 maybe. Maybe that makes these enhanced versions more exclusive. And maybe that makes this stamped promo from the enhanced version, just a play on the single, maybe that makes that more of a play. I feel like at $18 to $19, that's kind of a good play right now, regardless of what they reprint. But would you want to maybe move in and buy a position of the enhanced if we hear that the unenhanced is all we're going to get? Maybe so. I mean, I'm not opposed to that idea. I think at 260, if you can find one at a local show, maybe for like 250, 260 range, I feel like that's a solid buy and you get it cash, you don't have to pay tax. I feel like that could be a good buy, but we got to wait and see what we're going to get. I've already seen a site, Hobbiesville, pre-order them, and they did say that they were the non-enhanced version. Is that going to be every store nationwide in the U.S.? I don't know, but it seems like that's the case. It's probably going to be these non-enhanced versions. If something changes or we hear that, I'll be sure to report that back to y'all. And that pretty much wraps it up. So what do y'all think? Are y'all scared of the reprints? Could they come at a better time? Are you like, Matrix, I wish these reprints would have came 6 months ago? I think it could create a perfect storm right now with Destin, with Journey, with the new sets that they're doing Wave 2 of, these sets that aren't so popular, like most recently Pitch Black, and more so with all these 30th products about to come out, and then these reprints crashing at the same time. I'm hoping it could be like a 2021 all over again, 2021-22, where they just dumped Battle Styles and Vivid and Chilling and Evolving Skies, and it massively reduced those prices of all the booster boxes. I'm hoping that happens. I don't believe it'll happen to that extent, but I'm hoping somewhat of the same effect will happen because I realize now is a much stronger market. More people are tuned in, more people are buying and investing and keeping and ripping, and the ripping ships are crazy, more so than they were 4 or 5 years ago. So, that being said, I still think we're looking at the next few months being a softening in the market on these sets specifically. Destin boosters, Destin ETBs, and Journey boosters. We just don't know for sure yet whether that's enhanced or unenhanced. So that's all I've got. I'm so excited about this news. I hope y'all are too. You gotta have the iron stomach and the iron hands to say, you know what, Matrix, I'm not gonna sell. I'm gonna keep it till it goes out of print. Wait another year, 2, 3, 5 years, and see what happens. That's how we should look at them if we want to see the most gains. Are you hearing me, investors? I hope you are. I hope you have a good evening. And don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out. And I will catch you all on the next one. Have a blessed evening, and I'll see you later.